Okay, thanks. As Junzi kindly introduced, my name is Allan, and this talk is going to be about reference trajectories, the dataset, enabling gate-to-gate flight analysis. It's again, as Junzi already told, it's a collaboration between OpenSky and Eurocontrol, and the main work has been carried by John, who unfortunately is not here physically with us. I'm not sure if he's online or not, but he is located in New Zealand. So it really shows that OpenSky has a global reach. So we have like presence in everywhere. And also Enrico has quite a lot contributed to the work, but as he's been really occupied providing this nice supporting the event with organizing stuff, he couldn't give the talk himself, so me as a third in line, so I had to take the opportunity and then speak here. And yeah, so let's go. Try to switch slides here, and yeah, okay, thanks. So the background, as many of us know, there definitely is a need for a higher level of transparency and publicly verifiable data to ensure that the analysis made on air traffic management performance is good and makes sense. So Eurocontrol has done that sort of analysis for many years now, and they base their analysis on correlated position reports that is gathered from European air navigation service providers. But the quality of that data varies quite a lot between depending which member state is transmitting this data. And it is causing some problems, right? And on the other hand, the usage of OpenSky or public community source surveillance data has also shown quite good results in doing that sort of efficiency analysis. But as we all know, the community source surveillance data also comes with its issues and caveats. So the good question is why not to take the best of the both, and that's why the collaboration has started to pretty much bring those data sets together. Yeah. And the aim of the project is to establish a pan-European flight database and its supporting trajectories. And in the context of this work, we talk about reference trajectories as a record of flight within the European region with its 4D positions, latitude, longitude, and time, and with some movement milestones such as off-on block times, takeoff landing times, and so on. So that's the purpose, to create such a data set. And the input data as a first iteration is correlated position reports from Eurocontrol side, and from OpenSky side we are using flights data 4 table. So I think it's familiar for many of you. And both of those data sets have it, as I already mentioned briefly, come with their limitations, and it is envisioned by us and also by Eurocontrol guys that it is kind of a evolving or iterating work that we are doing. So it would be interesting to include other data sources into creating the reference trajectories also, But to get the ball rolling, I guess we started with that. And just to give a quick overview what the correlated position reports are. So it's gathered from Eurocontrol member states. You see the map here. So it's quite small, but yeah, it's European airspace pretty much. The study period or the initial period where we do our developments on is for September 2019. For this period, we had over 250 million position reports from 34 countries, and it included data from over 90,000 aircraft. And the key data fields from CPRs are that we're using is the unique identifier for the flight in the CPR, call signs, ICAO, MODES addresses, pretty much departure, arrival addresses, airports, and 40 positions. The dataset itself includes obviously more than those that are listed here. But in this first iteration, these data fields are the ones that we are using. So in future work, I presume that we will start using more. And on the other hand, the flights data 4 table that is within the OpenSky. So yeah, in short, it's the aggregated view of aircraft trajectory that and the flight within this table can be identified uniquely by the aircraft address, the call sign, and also date and time. And for the period that we are observing or looking at, we had over 2 million data rows in a table pretty much. And yeah, on the slide on the left side, you see all the data fields that are present, but I'm not going to spend too much time explaining all of them. So the output of joining those or doing this work in the first iteration is, as already mentioned, reference trajectories, right? And it already is present in OpenSky, but not publicly available yet. And this table is called Flights X Data 4. We plan to make it available for public use within this calendar year. So be sure to follow what OpenSky does. And but yeah, in the end, goal of this work would be to get the data set that has the information about the flight as listed here. So we have the flight ID, departure, arrival, airports off on block time. So those of you who do not know what the off on block time means, so I was one of those when we started this work. It's when the aircraft starts moving from a gate. So that's why we say it's a gate-to-gate analysis. So off block means then when the member or the airport personnel takes the blocks off the aircraft wheels, and the aircraft actually can start moving. And on means then the blocks are put on. Takeoff landing times, takeoff landing runways, and then the 40 position as measured from airport reference point, and so on, top of climb trajectory. And on this slide, I've marked the things that we have as of today with green, and the ones that needs further work are left black. So it's work in progress. And in current table, we have over 760,000 rows about the preference trajectories. And so, as you see, there's plenty of work to do still. So a few words about how and what we've done. So joining pretty much the two data sets, we've done it based on call signs, as it turns out that in CPRs, the aircraft address or the 24-bit address is not too consistent, so it might cause some errors. So call sign produce better results. And then as about 10% of flights in every day reuse their call sign, so we had to take a time also into consideration to compare the data timestamps in both data fields. And on the right-hand side of the slides, you see the results of the first iteration. So we've been able to join or assign about 77% of CPRs to a flight inside the OpenSky network table. And from those that are not assigned, majority of those we don't have those flights in OpenSky. It's more than 86%, and a small portion are not matched for another reason. So what is the other reason? It still under investigation, but there is room for improvement here, definitely. Then one thing that CPRs is definitely why the CPRs are good is that the some of its data is like can be considered as a ground truth because it comes from actual filed flight plans and flown flights. For example, the departure arrival airports. So yeah, it's definitely based on the flight plans that pilots actually have inserted, and then actual flight has taken place. So these are pretty much ground truth. And we've used this data field to enhance the estimates that we have in our flights table. Yeah, and on the right-hand side on the bar plot, you see the results here. So for arrival, or sorry, for departure airports, it's OpenSky networks data table. About 75% has then correctly been estimating the departure airfield. So it's pretty good, I would say. And out of those 25 that are missing, a majority of those is due to the fact that we probably don't have coverage, and we've not even taken a shot at estimating the departure airport. And the small portion that is left from those, so on the bar plot you see it with yellow, that's where we in OpenSky have gotten it wrong. And on the upper side, the graph, the flight trajectory shows one example why it might have happened is the two airfields are really in close proximity, and again a bit problematic ground coverage there. So the estimating algorithm has thought that the aircraft is departing from Brussels airport, but in fact it has departed from Brussels military airport, somewhere close to the military airport. Sorry, the civil airport. And just an example why this might be. You see some differences in arrival and departure airfield estimations. Again, yet to confirm what the reason here is. Then the takeoff time estimation, and in this first iteration, we've done quite straightforward rule-based approach, as you can see. So we take the state vectors and start looking for position reports that are within 7.5 kilometers from the airport reference point. The altitude has to be makes sense, has to be close to ground, and the velocity of the aircraft as well, so it shouldn't move too fast, otherwise yeah. And if those we put those state vectors into a sequence, if the state vector shows the increase in altitude, and then we just pick the first one that makes sense. And then on the right hand side, again on the bar plot, you see the how it compares against with airport operated data flow dataset that Eurocontrol has access to, and what the differences are and how it distributes. So it's the difference is divided into buckets. So a majority of those fall into up to 1 minute difference, and there is a quite long tail here, and a lot of those that are missing the takeoff time. So again, probably it can be improved, and it definitely is something that we will take a look at, but I guess at some point of time we just need to be transparent how well we can do our work, and then hand the data to the community, and then community maybe can help us improve the results, and also come up with clever ways how to estimate more stuff that is interesting. So to conclude my talk, so we, as you see, we have done the first steps to create the reference trajectories. There is, and as you also can see, that there's a long way still to go, and any sort of collaboration or help is highly appreciated. So if you wish to use that sort of data for your work, then be welcome to contact us in either from OpenSky or our good colleagues in Eurocontrol, and we'll get you set up. And then, yeah, next steps, let's fill in the blanks pretty much. And thank you. So if you have any questions,